Hi, this is Survivor with Scrappy Mania, and today I want to create a little cover like this one for my new art journal. Now, the idea or the inspiration for this is that my husband bought a Midori, and what a Midori is like you can use it as a planner. You can use it for to jot a place that you can jot ideas. It's something that looks like this. It's made out of leather. It's beautiful leather, and then you fill the inside with the Midori booklets. Now this is a moleskin, but they do sell the Midori booklets that you can put in there, and it's similar to this. So you can put a lot of stuff in there, and then close it up, and then it has a nice little tie that ties everything together. It even has like a place that you can buy these pen holders that you can put on your Midori, and it's very nice. However, I wanted something like that, but I didn't want to spend. Now his was a small one. It's about this size, and he paid $30 for his. So I did not want to spend one because the size that I need for my art journal will be large, and it was going to be quite expensive. And I didn't want to really spend that money because I'm going to be using it to cover my art journal. And it's going to get dirtied and covered and things like that. So I really didn't want to run the risk of really getting this dirty with all my mixed media. So what I did is I experiment. I went to Hobby Lobby. Now I had this sketchbook. I purchased this at Tuesday morning, and I pulled some of the pages out. I created then my little booklets, as you can see here, using those. I took one of those, I folded it in half, and then I made my little signatures with staple. Now these have staple, and then I put a cover on top. And then I created the booklet or the leather covering to be the size of my booklets. And I'll put the video on the guy that teach you how to do it. Now, I made some mistakes on this one. Of course, this is my first one. One of the mistakes is I made it too wide. So this is too much. You should make it that it will just meet up to there, like there. So I would cut this down further. If I do another one, it will be further, it will be shorter, this length. Then I will kind of make the booklets or the holes a little more towards the edge on top, because it does dig into my booklets there. As you can see there, it kind of digs into the booklet. So that's my second mistake. But overall, that's only two, but I really like this. Look how pretty and how wonderful this looks. And I also have my leather stamping kit that I purchased some time ago in Tuesday morning. I got a lot of these art tools, or these leather tool, and that's what I use to kind of create my front cover. And I also used some acrylic paint, and I sealed it with leather sealer. So that's what I created. Now I want to create a cover for this. I went to Hobby Lobby and got a packet of leather. You get a big pack for $8.99, and you get little scraps of leather, as you can see here. So I'm going to use that. And I already got my pieces. Now, because the leather is not large enough for my larger book, as you can see here, what I want to do is I'm going to sew. I'm going to use this. Okay, this extra fabric. And what I want to do is I want to sew this on the fabric. So this is going to be my cover. Then I'm going to sew this here on this side. And I'm going to go ahead and sew this here on this side. Something like that. It's going to look something like that. And then to cover the rough spots, I'm going to use this to be the lining for the inside of my leather cover. So what I'm using is I went ahead and got this heavy duty needle, and hopefully my sewing machine, I got a white sewing machine, hopefully it will go through this leather. It's not very thick. It's kind of thin. So hopefully it'll go through the leather. You're going to need some elastic cord. So I got this. And you find these in the fabric store. And then I got some really heavy duty thread at Hobby Lobby to do this. So let's go ahead and measure this out. So actually, I think I'm going to sew it like so here. Okay, I ended up taping it. It was kind of hard to put a needle through it. I don't know how this leather's going to work, so I'm going to have to kind of work and see how I can sew this together. Okay, so now that I have this sew or paste together, that's ready for the next piece here. And I'm just going to draw a line just to make sure. And then I'm going to use tape. Now I'm hoping that my sewing machine could go through this stuff. I'm not sure. If not, I'm going to have to sew it by hand. And I'm not sure how that's going to work either. But we'll see. Now let me make sure. Because you want to make sure, check and recheck. Because once you sew it together and you cut, you are stuck with what you have. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good. So now I'm going to go to my sewing machine. And I hope this will go through and cut this. So let me go ahead over to the sewing machine and sew this together. So now I'm ready to cut off the excess here. So I am just going to cut it off. And then cut this off. And let's go ahead and measure out. So I'm still going to have a lot of cutting to do, but I want to put a lining on this. And this lining, I want it to be exactly the cover for here. So okay, so I took some wax paper, and that's gonna be my pattern. I laid it down and I traced around it, and then I closed it and I traced around. And I think that's perfect like that. Okay. So once I got this cut, before I cut, we can use this template to cut this. So let me measure it for you in case you do buy that. This measures 17.5 this way by 10.25. So this is from here to here. It's 10.25, and then from here 17.5. But don't take my measurements. I mean, that's a rough measurement for it. Keep that in the back of your mind. But when you do yours, make sure you measure your book. Now, this is the 7 inches by 10 Canson Mixed Media ring binder book. Measure that. The ring also takes some space. So if you get a different book with a different ring binder, it may be a little different. But it's always good to measure at least twice, cut once. So I've measured this a couple of times. I think this pattern, it is perfect for my book. And I'm just going to cut once. So before I cut it, this is kind of needs to be ironed. So let me go ahead and get my iron this out pretty nicely. And then once I iron this out, I'm going to go ahead and I need to cut it a little bigger because I am going to do a seam binding around it. And once I do the seam binding, then I'm going to put it onto my my cover. So let me go ahead and get the iron. I'll be back. Okay, after much measuring, I'm gonna go ahead, place it here. Okay, so I'm gonna take it to my sewing machine and let's sew it together. Okay, didn't come out too bad. So here's the front cover, and this is the lining. Perfect. See how it's going to be perfect there. Okay, so you make 2 holes here, 2 holes on the bottom, 1 in the middle, and what you're going to do is you're going to go through here. And then that's going to go through the middle here. Then this through here. Okay. And I'm going to cut it right there. Perfect. So I have another lot of cord to play with. I'm going to put, see how this elastic, let's go ahead. And you want to make sure it's nice and tight. I'm going to make a knot here. Okay, so that's going to keep it, that's not going to unravel. I'm going to thread my book in. Remember, I'm making this for spine, for ones that has spine. Or that the ones that have this type of binding. There, perfect. Let's keep it in place. Now, there's a cover for my book. So there, I created a cover for my book, just similar to this. So now I'm going to decorate it. So I'm going to stamp around it, decorate it, and we'll see what comes out. But I hope you liked the tutorial and how to create a leather cover for your mixed media book. You can then, I am going to create some pens, and then you can create a nice little pen holder or whatnot for the spine. Or actually you can just take a pen, let's put it like that. And I hope you like this part of the video. Now, if you want to see how I decorate this, stay tuned for the second part of my video where I'm going to get my leather stamp material and I'm going to get my leather stamp tools, and I'm going to stamp this, and it's going to say mixed media journal, and put some roses and things like that and see how it will come out. So I'm done with my cover for my mixed media, new mixed media book. So it fit nicely. I have a Melanie Ross chip art tool set that has alphabet, and some of these are, I went to a leather store and I purchased some of the flowers and embellishments that you see here for leather carving. So I'm using it for this project. It's also, those things you can use it also for chipboard, so it'll work for leather or for chipboard. As you can see, my hands got stained. I had an accident and I forgot to use my glove in the bottle. But I had an accident, so as I was preparing the stain for the edges and to put a little bit of stain on here, my bottle tipped over and it just splattered all over. So I quickly removed the excess with a napkin or with a paper towel, but there were some that just stayed on there. So I decided, why not just grunge it up a little. So I purposely took some drywall tape, and I used it, and I even grunged it up some more. I used some of my Sharpie painters to kind of give it that white distressing right there. I did the same thing in the back. I really used some more of that stain in the back to really grunge it up a lot. And that's pretty much it. I did put some corners on here to protect the booklet. So here are my corners. And even if this expands out, I'll still have a lot of room to expand out for this art journal. And I like it. I really do, because it looks nice. The cover looks kind of nice. I can take it out if I want it out of this and use my sprays and things like that. But I'm not going to work, because this is my grungy little art journal or mixed media inspiration book. So it's going to get junked up. It's going to get with a lot of paint and stuff. And I think that's what's going to make it even nicer. So I hope you like this video in how to create a cover made out of leather for your art journals and for your mixed media little booklets. So this is a 5 inches by 10, and anything that is that dimension, it will fit in this little casing. And then this one is the one I'm going to be using because this one fits perfect in my little my purse. And as you can see, I can easily create things in here, write things down, get ideas. I'm going to create a pencil holder for this that's going to house some of my watercolor pencils, and maybe even one of those aqua pens, and just to use it while I'm out and about to kind of create things. And then this is the one that I'm going to be using for when I'm in my studio for creating stuff. So I hope you like it, and thank you for watching. Bye now.